speaking of stopping, so yeah, I had a big heavy pack that I had to stop and I had to take off. And it was really frustrating because I just wanted to keep going and I wanted to get out of there, especially on the last day. I had my girlfriend and I, we didn't realize it was going to take us longer to get out than it was to get in because we didn't notice when we were coming in that it was a little downhill. And so on the way out, it was uphill and we were hungry and our stove didn't work right that morning. So we didn't get a proper breakfast and we were just craving lunch. Half of our conversation was about what we were looking forward to for lunch. And boy, we sure really did enjoy those hamburgers afterwards. So stop when you eat. Take a moment. Let all of that food soak into your body. Get yourself good food. Cook it. It's not nearly as expensive as you think it is, and it's a heck of a lot less expensive and takes less time than eating out does, which is the easiest thing to fall into, the easiest trap to fall into. So enjoy your food. Take your time and enjoy your food. While you're doing the purification system, be attentive to the amount of vegetables versus fruits that you eat, because it's really easy to get into the fruitarian game. Oh, I'm eating fruits and vegetables. Fruits come first. I must need to eat more of those. The truth of the matter is that that is not the case, and that fruits have a whole lot more sugar in them than vegetables, and they don't have all the nutrients in them that vegetables do. So by and large, most of us get more sugar and more fruit than we need and not enough vegetables. Even when I was vegetarian for 6 years, and some of the meditation practices that I do require vegetarianism during the time of the practices. And I've noticed that at the end, the potlucks, I will be the only person that brings vegetables. Everybody else brings like pizza or fried rice, and there's not very many nutrients in it. So notice that we get a lot of sugar in the world on a daily basis. Most of us need to be more attentive to getting in the vegetables. So here's the easy way to remember it. Vegetables, 2 servings to fruit, 1 serving. If there's some fruit that you really, 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 really want, just make sure you're having 2 servings of vegetable to that 1 serving of fruit. And that way you'll make sure that you're keeping it in a healthy balance. It doesn't mean that you can't have what you want, just means that you need to keep it in a healthy balance. If you do have some hypothyroid issues or hyperthyroid issue, if your thyroid is sensitive to sugar, then you're going to want to stick to the fruits that have the lowest amount of sugar, and those are berries. Especially raspberries, blueberries, blackberries. Those have the least amount of sugar. So those will be the easiest for you to tolerate. And also during this time, you'll be making sure to get plenty of fiber. Fiber, by the way, isn't very high in lettuce, which most of us think, oh, if I just eat a bunch of lettuce and salads, then I'm going to be good to go. But that's actually not necessarily the case. The foods that are higher in fiber are like pine nuts. So put some things on your salad that are very delicious. Raspberries also are high in fiber. So, invest a little bit in making sure that you're getting a good ratio. Also, be careful not to overeat those salads because your digestive system may well be a little bit impaired and it's harder to digest raw foods. The reason for that is because the environment of the stomach is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit and it's a soupy, gooey mess. So the easiest foods for us to digest are about 100 degrees Fahrenheit and a soupy, gooey mess. That's why when we're sick and we have the least amount of energy for the digestive process, that's why we eat soups during that time. So during this time that you're doing the purification system, it's fine to eat some salads, but if you're not feeling quite right, especially if you don't feel like you have as much energy as you would expect, then consider cooking your foods more or having more cooked foods, or having some soups. There's a recipe in the book that you'll get that is for gardener's ratatouille, and it's so good that every time I talk about it, my mouth waters. It's not complicated. It does take a little bit of time to make because it's got all of these delicious vegetables in it that, here we go again. It's got all these delicious vegetables in it that are so, 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 so good. And honestly, I'm not, if somebody just said, hey, do you want some vegetable soup? I'd be, meh, I don't know, sure, I guess. I hear it's healthy for me. But this recipe is really fantastic. You will love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So I'm looking forward to this journey with you. I'm looking forward to the steps you're going to get to take. I'm looking forward to the challenges, because there's always things that you didn't expect. This is not a gallbladder flush, so you're not going to be running to the bathroom all the time, but it's very likely that your bowel movements will change. I expect to see that. Your urinary habits will definitely change. Peeing will be your new hobby for a little while. You're going to drink lots of water, and the herbs that you're taking in the SP Cleanse help you to flush that out. What we're doing here is we're flushing inflammation out of the system. We're flushing out some excess water out of the system. So most of us, our bodies have a tendency to hold on to a little bit more fluid than we need. This is why we look a little swollen. So this is a way that your body is going to allow itself to get rid of all the things that it doesn't need. Just flush them right on out. So at the beginning, the first few days, you'll probably be peeing a little bit more. Plan accordingly. And make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. Your body is flushing right now. You're not drinking too much water and peeing because you're drinking too much water. Your body is doing exactly what we want it to, and that is getting rid of all of the extraneous fluids that don't need to be in there because they're clogging up the works. So peeing will be your new hobby. Look for changes in your bowel movements, because that is an indication to us of what's going on in your body. That's going to tell us how well your body is producing bile and how well that moves through your gallbladder and how well that moves through into your intestines to help digest the fats in your body, in your food, in your diet. So typically people do lose weight with the purification system. The only times that I have seen people not lose weight is when they did not stop drinking coffee and lattes. But even coffee in itself, coffee is actually an endocrine disruptor, so taking a break from it here is a really healthy thing to do for your body. We're not saying that you can't ever have it again. I do recommend you getting good sources of it so that you're not drinking that mold-laden, it's called oxalic A mold, and that just wreaks havoc on the body. So I do recommend you getting good sources of it. But most importantly is during the purification process, please don't drink coffee, because that will give us the best opportunity to observe the effects of this upon your body. You might notice a downregulation during the first phase of this. So one of the times I did the purification process, I do this once or twice a year. And I eat this way most of the time, so I'm no big deal. But I'd been drinking quite a bit of matcha green tea for its detoxing and antioxidant effects. And I took a break from it during the purification system. And wow, I didn't realize how much that had been supporting me, and I got really sleepy. So plan for that. If you can, try to start the purification process on a Saturday or Sunday so that you can have a little bit of downtime. Your body's been doing a lot for a long time, and when it finally gets a moment to rest, it might need a little bit extra sleep. It's been pushing through its adrenals, through its cortisol, a little bit past its boundaries for most of us. So by giving your body what it needs. If you're sleepy, if you have the option to sleep, that is really the best thing to do rather than to push through it. Just allow your body to sleep, and you'll find that it will be happily regulated. This is also a great time to develop some really good sleep habits if you don't already have them. So somewhere between 8 to 10 o'clock at night is the best time to go to bed for most people. If you are not at liberty for that because of your work schedule, then be aware that it's going to take a toll on your liver and your kidneys. And we need to make sure to support that over time. And what you're doing with the purification process is a really great way to help support it. So that's a good step, but it's going to need ongoing support because it's very hard on the body to work that nighttime shift on a regular basis. I have another video. I talk more about that on the insomnia video. For right now though, enjoy putting yourself to bed on time. Realize that your body is doing an amazingly good job of healing itself, and it does most of that work when you're asleep. It makes it easy. So that way it has more access to all of the energy that it needs to heal, and and you don't even have to be awake for it. I once heard it said that God loves you so much that he has to knock you out for 8 hours a day in order to spend time with you. And I really liked that way of thinking about things. So whatever your spiritual practice is, realize that healing is definitely a spiritual experience, mind, body, and soul. And this is a great time to develop the healthy practices of letting yourself enter fully into that beloved space of healing and rejuvenation. Okay. Enjoy the purification process. If you have any questions, please give us a call or email us. My email address is drcynthia, Cynthia, LWC for Longevity Wellness Clinic, lwc@gmail.com. And our clinic number is 941-923-9355. You're going to do great. I believe in you, and if you have any questions or challenges, then just give us a call or email us. Good luck.